Okay, good afternoon. We're all present here today. Today we have with us one of the very revered personality in the Middle East. He is Professor Zaid Ahmed Ansari, who has been associated with GCC countries for more than a decade now. He is Professor of Marketing in College of Business and Economics, as well as he is taking care as in the capacity of Director of Graduate Programs in Qasim University in Saudi Arabia. He is a well-known author in GCC context, and he has published numerous papers. Means I was going through his Google Scholar, and he has more than 100 citations, which are H index of more than 6, an item index of more than 3. So we have a person here who will be specifically talking in the GCC context, and that is changing now post-COVID. So we are handing over the sessions to him, and we'll be taking up your questions and queries towards the end of the session. So Professor, we are handing over the session to you. It's all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saad. It's my pleasure to be with you all, and inshallah, hope that we learn from each other from the today's session. Inshallah, hopefully. You know, this topic that I have chosen for discussion is changing era of management post COVID-19. The reason for taking this topic is, actually we are somewhere aware that things are changing now. Whether we know, we are aware, we are not aware, we accept it, we don't accept it, but for sure we will see that from our previous experience also, we will see that things are changing. For sure things are changing now, and it will change. Now the question is whether the things are going to change temporarily or it is going to be a permanent change, and then how the things will evolve in the process. What are the things that we may expect during this COVID period, pandemic period, and what we may expect after this post COVID period, how the working place will be, how the education system may be, what will be the state of travel and tourism. These are some of the major questions that is coming right now, that we academicians especially are facing. So in that background, given this background, I would like to start this session, that changing era of management post COVID-19. I expect from all of you to be participative as much as we can. The more we talk, the more we discuss, I'm sure more we gain from this session. It should not be one way. In between, if you have some questions, queries, we can take up. Otherwise, towards the end of each session, I mean, from each topic, at the end of each topic, we can. What do I mean by at the end of each session? We will come to know, inshallah, as we progress. Now, the main objectives of this session will be to discuss why there will be a new era of management. Are there reasons, or this is our illusion that we are feeling? So we'll try to answer this question in the first place. Will there be a new era of management or no? Then we will, as we proceed, because to build the background, we will try to assess the current pandemic and its implications. What does it mean? Does it has any meaning or no? What is the current situation? Why this current situation? What could have been? Whether it is all this is going to stop here, or it may expand. How long it is going to be? All these questions will be, giving us the background why, how to move in future. So these things are linked to one another, I mean to say. So to discuss the challenges of pandemic, to know the emerging trends, with all these first 3 points, we will come to know what are the emerging trends, how the things are coming up, how we are working, what we are facing now. Then comes the next point, to understand the new era of management. Some of the main areas we will take up today, like work from home, consumer behavior, how it is changing, education system, and if time permits, we'll take up some more areas to discuss. The most important thing that has happened naturally, it is not our effort, it is nature, that the things are changing, they are coming up. Like for example, we will see how the what is the impact of this pandemic, little bit discussion on the environment, and then how it is going to impact our future, maybe whether it is going to impact or it will not impact. That is something that we need to discuss again. Then it says that what as an academician and researcher, we are the academicians, the researchers, what is our role, what we can do, what is expected from us, how the society is looking towards us to respond, because we are the society makers, whether we realize or don't realize, but we as an academicians are the society makers. So in this background, we'll go to the next slide, which talks about, now I just want to reconfirm as an academician, what is our situation during this pandemic. What I feel is, Alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, we academicians are affected by this pandemic, least affected by this pandemic. And moreover, this pandemic has given us an absolute opportunity, era of opportunity for academicians. Why? Because COVID-19 has wide open and unprecedented research gap in all the fields. Dr. Saad, I just want to make sure that I am audible, right?
You're audible. You are loud and clear.
Okay, perfectly fine. Thank you so much. Okay. So we are the lucky guys in academic world. This is my perception. This is how I believe, because we many times we struggle for the topics. Now this COVID-19 has given us unprecedented, and never like this before, topics for areas for research in all the fields, whether it is science, whether it is HR, whether it is marketing, whether it is name it, and it is there. Name it, and you have an opportunity to investigate. Okay. Moving further, let us see what history tells us during other crises, how the things changed. Now, in that, if we see to the previous crisis that the world has suffered earlier, some of them, there are many more, just for our reference. 9/11, 9/11, new policies came up, and especially in stricter aviation security. And this is something very, now maybe at that time we were not aware how the things will change, but we have gradually over the period of time, because there was a reason. 9/11 incident was there. The stricter aviation security checks, all those hassles that has been increased. Many times the privacies has been interfered. But we as a traveler, we as a customers, we as a travelers, we as a tourists, we have accepted that. So the crisis has given stricter aviation security. Now, new ways of working. Post World War II, the role of women in the workplace increased. What I mean to say by this is that more and more women joined the workforce, which was not before World War II. So this was another major change post World War II. Then the third situation is SARS, that we saw recently last decade, that it increased. There was increase in e-commerce activities. So these incidents, they give us some push uh, towards something new, innovation, something new, something innovation, some innovation, something new. They give us. Now, just to remind and to present the things, actually in management, what I believe is, we all follow nothing but the macroeconomic environment. We continuously follow the macroeconomic environments, like the let's say the economic environment, the technological environment, political environment, social and cultural environment. In management, we are doing nothing more than this, but continuously adjusting our businesses, our activities, our processes, our everything according to these major macro environment factors. Now, to mention here that currently we are facing extraordinary macro environment situation. This is extraordinary, not normal. It has come, and it has covered us like an umbrella. This is a unique situation in the entire history where the entire world and every industry with few exceptions, have been affected badly by this pandemic. So this is an exceptional situation. Now, if we go, if we relate it, see, macro environment we are following, and now this situation is also has given us a unprecedented challenge. It was never there in the history. Now we have to, there are two options: either we do or we die. So we are somewhere forced with no option but to evolve. We will discuss in the coming slides how. Let us see. Now it says that this
Dear Dr. Zaid, I have a question, possible?
yeah, yes please, yes please.
For the third part, which is talking about SaaS, its increase in e-commerce. Why it affect e-learning,
Okay.
e-education? I mean, what are the reasons on that time that
actually
that is a hot area for e-education? Thank you.
Actually what is happening is when we talk about this SARS, let's say SARS, this is a kind of disease which was again spreading at that time. Now the main thing, the main thing is this: when the things are spreading, contagious, spreading at fast rate. So the first thing, like for if I want to relate it, let me relate it to the current situation. Maybe things will be clear. We are trying to simply save ourselves the way we can. Now at that time, what the e-commerce just started. It was in the beginning of somewhere 2000. So at that time what happened is people got an alternative to do their activities. Instead of physically, they moved to the online platform. So there was existing thing, and if I want to relate it present time, now see, what is happening is all the technologies were available to us. Online platform for education was available, online shopping is available, but we were following our traditional. Most of us, majority were following, especially the elders, they were following the traditional way. Now the moment we are stuck with the pandemic, we started to find out the safe source of doing the academic, economic and social activities. So therefore at that time also there was huge increase in e-commerce. You will see there was a jump there. I hope you got it, and inshallah as we proceed we will
thank you, Doctor.
understand.
It's clear. Yes, it's clear. Thank you for clarification.
Okay. Now before we move to the things, what I always prefer is to have a look at the background, or background in terms of which is affecting us. We need to understand that. Now what I say here is, see, the current status, more than 4.4 million people have been affected by coronavirus globally. The uniqueness of this is that the most developed countries have not been spared. This virus has spread to everyone, and uniquely it has spread more to the developed countries, and approximately 300 people have died till now. The death rate on average, global average, is around 7%. It is varying from 6.7. These days it has come down, but last week it was around 7%. Global average. What is unique here? Why we need to be careful because of this coronavirus? I was calculating the death rate in some of worst hit nation was as high as following. In Spain, it has gone 10% and above. UK 14.4%, Italy 13.98%, and in France it has gone as high as 15%. Just to bring to our attention, bring the things to our attention. See, these are one of the most developed countries, and they are and they have been affected and like anything. The point here is death rate of 10 to 15% is not a small rate. And to be honest, what scares personally to me is that, the current situation is when for the last 2.5 months the entire world is residing inside their houses with no economic activities, no socialization, no outing, nothing. All the gatherings have been closed, whatever form it was, let it be in any form, it has been closed. So this is scary. Therefore, we have to manage it. We can't take it light. So it says that 10 to 15% is the death rate. It can go up to this much. Now, we need to be careful when we are talking in the current situation. For the last 2.5 months, the entire world has been locked down, but now they are forced. The government is forced. The policy makers are forced. They have no choice other than restarting the economic activity. They don't have any choice. So the problem is that under lockdown, this is the situation, 6.7% global death rate. Now, once we are restarting, how it is going to affect? Maybe it will become again a pandemic. And other important factor that I want to bring here is, with all these, it has not flattened. It has not stopped. It is still continuously increasing. Day by day it is increasing. However, in some cases we notice that it has decreased. Okay. Going to the next slide. Okay. So what is the level of destruction? Just a fast look, because I don't want to give too much time on this part. This is just a recap of the things. Stock markets have globally crashed. However, what the governments are doing is through their the government help, the government support, they are trying to revive the stock markets. But the initial initial problem has been done. The market crashed, already crashed. Huge unemployment across the globe. Consumer demand has gone down like anything, never before. There's absolutely lack of consumer demand. Crude oil prices crashed. At one point, it reached negative. Factories shut down. Production almost zero. Global production. When I say global, we are not talking about the accepted industry factories. We'll talk what they are. Globally, airlines have been shut down, the worst affected maybe. Hospitality and tourism is zero right now. Manufacturing sector badly hit. Health facilities in short supply, and we can add up to the list many more. But this is giving us a picture how the current global scenario is. Now, a fast look at the unemployment. Globally, there are 3.3 billion global workforce. Globally, there are 3.3 billion workforce, and 2 billions they are employed in informal sector. Like they are self-employed, most of them. They are daily wages earning shop owners like this. Those who earn, they are not in the salaried section. 1.6 billion informal sector workforce livelihoods destroyed globally. Now 1.6 billion workforce, let us be careful, this is not 1.6 billion person, this is the workforce, and with 1.6 billion workforce there are many more who are attached for their livelihood for them. So the number of dependent will increase manifold, too much. Informal sector, what is this is about the informal sector. And in the formal sector, what is happening is employees have been sent on leave without pay. Just for an example sake, Emirates Airlines, huge salary cut is there. If those who are continuing the job, Reliance company in India reduced salary by 50%. Now, all these things, they are going to affect the market demand for sure. The buying power, the purchasing power of the employees, it is going down. Employees have lost their job in the formal sector as well. So they can be in either of these three categories. In the current situation, there is the huge evaporation of the wealth because of the crisis. Those money, unreal money, which is there on paper, that has been lost because of the crash of the market. So the situation is quite serious. Now, another point, it says World Economic Outlook projects global growth in 2020 to fall to minus, this is negative 3%. So we are nowhere going, we are not going to stop at the zero level, we are going down now. So the point here is all these things, the current situation that we have discussed, it is for sure 100% it will have its own implication on the employment. It will affect the entire global scenario, the job market, the buying power, how the works are going to be restructured, the pandemic is going to continue. So in that case, as the history also tells us, and some of the researchers are also there, that over the period of time, and we will see some of the researchers already have done, and they are telling us continuously working, researching, so that whatever we are practicing now during the COVID period, most of the things, or at least let's say some of the things, will continue even after. The things will change, and we will see what are they and how they are going to change. The worst part is that University of Minnesota, they have conducted a research, and they predict that this disease may stay for next 2 years. So the time period is also not less. It is a long time period. We can't say that we can't keep the people shut down for the last for long 2 years. Not possible. Impossible for any government. Impossible situation. So the only option left right now with the government and even with we people as an individual, the only option left with us is that we need to come out and we need to learn, we need to define, we need to make new rules, we need to make new guidelines to live along this as safely as possible. This is the biggest challenge right now, and because of this situation, the things are getting restructured. We are restructuring everything. Even our houses are going to be restructured. Our relations, trust me, are going to be restructured. Our social behavior, public behavior, the work behavior, maybe what I believe is our dressing sense will change over this period of time. In 2 years time, I'm sure something. So we need to analyze those as an academician. We need to research these things and to predict and to shape the future as much as we can. So just to summarize the things, what we have discussed in the first part, most of the world in the lockdown countries are opening gradually. Huge amount has already been lost. Large scale of unemployment, huge dependence on government for basics such as food and health supplies. Coronavirus is to stay with us, or we have to stay with coronavirus for the next 2 years. And this is just a prediction. Time will tell us whether it is going to be maybe it will finish earlier, maybe it may finish in 2 years, or it may go beyond this also. This is also the possibility. So in this background, what we have discussed, we have seen here till now as a background, we will move further and see how the things are evolving. What is the challenge? Lockdown cannot be continued more, else people will start dying of starvation. Opening the lockdown increase the risk of spreading the disease, killing people, but we don't have choice anything else other than opening. Both ways there is a risk. Lockdown is impossible to continue there to reopen and manage the situation. The biggest dilemma, what to do? Okay. The overall pandemic period that has started from January 20 and still continuing and may continue for the next 2 years, may not finish it earlier. Dr. Saad, is it connected? Because my screen is saying GoToMeeting server has lost.
Yeah, you're visible.
Am
To
I
me,
connected?
your voice was breaking in between, but now it's connected. Can you speak a sentence?
Can hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
So yeah. So am I audible and everything is fine now? Okay, because there was a message on my screen that the connection is lost. So I just okay. Thank you. So now it says that three phases. We can divide the entire pandemic period in three phases. The first phase calls you can call it as shelter in or lockdown phase. The second phase we can say reopening phase. The shelter phase almost done. Now we are entering the second phase, reopening. However, there can be a complete discussion reopening phase. We will not go spend much time on because it's all detailed process where the biggest right now is some of the experts say restart is going to be even more difficult than the shutdown. Shutdown we said shutdown. One time we just shut it down. But now the factories were in between, the raw materials were stuck, everything was in between. It has most of the employees they have already left there, most of them, because generally in factories there are migrant workers generally, or people even in the cities, mostly the migrant workers are there in the factories. And when the shutdown was announced or planned, the employees they left back to their native places. If I take the example of India, if I want to mention the example of India, it is really difficult for them because all those workers working in the factories, they have returned back to their villages, their small towns, and the sufferings they have faced, they are not ready back. They are not ready to resume to come back for their work. So this is again a challenge, reopening phase. However, we will not focus on that. We will come to the third and fourth phase. Mainly our discussion will be on the third phase. Third phase will be the long 2 years of pandemic, during which we are going to stay, during which we are going to restructure our workplaces, our especially the workplaces, and the technological development that will come. We will see one by one. And the fourth phase, we need to see how the things after pandemic will be, whether the things will go back to before pandemic situation or it will continue. So this is these are the questions that we will try to address here. I hope things are clear till here. The background is good. Someone is saying, can we see the slides more clear? I don't know how to do that, Dr. Saab.
Actually, you have not switched on the slide show mode. You are just opening the PPT. So if
Oh,
you activate the slideshow, it will become bigger.
okay. Let me try this with them. Is it better now?
It has done far better. It's clear.
Okay, then. Fine, perfectly fine. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now, in this situation, we need to have a look at what are the emerging situations, what are the things coming up gradually, and how we are adjusting, how we are working. What I say is now the culture is from home culture, the culture for everything. The home is your workplace, so we will say take them one by one, and we will take few of them because of the limited time, maybe some of them to discuss in detail. Number one is work from home. It has started. Number two, education from home. We are witnessing this. Shopping from home has started now. Socializing from home to some extent. Now Zoom and other the online apps, they have uh, forced us. Again, I will say that we don't have options. Hospital from home. Even now, the doctors, they have started giving consultancies online. For 10 minutes, they are charging the same fees. Entertainment from home. And some extent, we have got, because there is a huge increase in the demand for indoor games and indoor exercise instruments. So there is a perfect change in everything from home. Let it be work, let it be education, shopping, socializing, hospital, entertainment, and gym. What I say is the coronavirus is forcing us for safety, and the safety is social distancing. There is no other measure right now against as a prevention measure from coronavirus. Safety is important, and the safety is possible only through social distancing. And because of this social distancing, we have been given the option of work from home wherever possible. And if it is not possible to work from home, the offices, they are being redesigned to maintain again the social distancing. They are redesigned, and we will see some of them, how, what are the concepts were there, but they are now in demand. The demand for such things have increased. Why work from home? Because Dr. Winston said is simply having fewer people in workplace. This is the only step left with us to protect ourselves. There is no other option actually, to be honest. So therefore, we have to move our, and we can't live without working also, because we need sustenance. So the things are restructuring, things are changing, things are dividing in parts. Okay. What are some of the current companies doing? Google has already said has said that it will let its employees work till the end of 2020. let them work from home. The second point that is very important, because this is the real change. Maybe after COVID, Google will call their employees to office. Maybe we can't say now. But the second part is very important that we need to think over it. TCS is a global multinational company. It says that the chief executive officer of this company says that 75% of TCS global employees, which is 4.48 lakh in number, 448,000, to work from home by 2025. And another important point that he added, that is actually that is the changing point that I consider here. He says that 25% of workforce, 25% workforce in office will be enough for 100% productivity. Mind it, this is something very important, and we need, as a researcher, we need to investigate this. What will be the ratio, how much ratio, how we can divide the workforce in what ratio in different industry. It is not going to be in particular. This is about a consultancy software company. Now, in software company, will this be a new culture trend for all the software countries across the globe? Because this CEO claims that just 25% workforce in office will be enough for 100% productivity. And he has given this concept as a name 25-25 model. He says that by 25-25, now he will retain only 25% in office and 75% will work from home. There other companies, big companies, they are HCL, TCS. They say that 50% of its employees will work from home even after the lockdown is lifted. An article in New York Times, it said that the pandemic may mean the end of open floor offices. So these are the new, changing era. I will call it as changing era of management now. Now, this point needs a detailed investigation from the company's perspective and from the employee's perspective also, because all the challenges of employees will start coming up now. Their motivation, their stress, their work and family life business, work and family life balance, or perform. We will take them one by one. However, this is an important trend that has started, and this is not by choice, this is by force because of the pandemic. And now the indications are already there. Indications are already there that post-COVID, the companies will prefer work from home. It is not a temporary arrangement. This is given by one company, maybe it will be followed by other sectors as well, other industries as well. It is only the time that will tell us how it is going to settle down. Now, this is again very important. Post-COVID situations can be analyzed from these findings. According to Gallup, it is a consulting company in America, it says that approximately 60% of American workers prefer to work remotely as much possible, even when public health restrictions are lifted. So it is not the preference of the companies only, it is the preference of the workers, the employees also. So when the company and the employees both prefer a certain thing, I'm sure that things will change. In future, a new structure of the company, of the offices will evolve. And then we will, okay, implications of work from home. Some of the very obvious things. Less overall need to own or rent office spaces. The expenses of office will drastically go down. Reduction in other costs such as office infrastructure. Close monitor by the employer. This actually, what they mean by this is that on computer they can always check when did you log in, when did you log out, and what activities you have done, that can be monitored easily. More video calls and fewer in-person meetings. There will be in-person meetings wherever needed, may be needed, but the number of video calls will be more. As more people work from home, their work life and personal life will become more connected. Right now, we are able to differentiate. This is our office life, this is our family life. But now, when we are working from home, things will get connected. It will be difficult to differentiate them. For employees, they will save travel time. In some cases, in the multinational, what we call the big cities, the employees have to travel for hours many times, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, So working from home, they will save time. Employees save travel expenses as well. And that saved time and expenses, what I believe will be or can be channelized towards the family, in terms of time and maybe in terms of expenses and quality life. We need to research this. This is my point. And okay, management of work from home. Only time will tell how much it will continue after the pandemic, but there are clear indications that this will be a culture post COVID-19. Inshallah, it is going to be a culture. And then the whole lot of academic researches will come up, how it is beneficial, what is the productivity, how much motivation is, stress, performance management, training of the employees, maybe the whole lot of new thing, era of online training will start. What is expected from researchers and experts like us? Identify the industries where work from home is effective. This is the right time to start. Identify the jobs which can be effectively delivered from home. Industries, and in the industries, what jobs can be performed from home. And this will give us a insight, this will give us a guideline to restructure our workplaces. What could be the mechanism of monitoring employees? How you are going to monitor? What will be the office designs? Because social distancing is there, new form of new work culture is developing. So how the offices are going to be designed in future? What will be the impact of work from home on productivity, motivation, and other areas of HR? How it will affect the work-life balance? How performance appraisal will be done? What will be the impact of work from home on employee stress? Just to caution, just to mention here, it is worth mentioning here that some of the articles say that during the lockdown, especially in the developing countries, even in China, I read about it, that the number of divorces is increased. This is something very unique to know, because spending time together, there were other issues that need to be handled now. The number of divorces increased during the lockdown period in China, and some other article says that there were increased uh, home violence because during the lockdown. So there are challenges as well. It is not like only the benefits, and I mean, it is not all good, I mean to say. The point that we need to understand here is how we are going to settle it down. What industry, what job, how to manage the HR issues. So now, just to mention quick that it says that flexible office space demand soar over 5 years. Actually, the concept of flexible office is that you work from home wherever you are, do your work from wherever you are. However, they need to drop in for 1 hour, 2 hour to complete the things in the office and leave back. So it says that flexible working spaces are set to grow by up to 30% annually for the next 5 years. So maybe if we go by this 30 into 5, 150% increase in flexible offices in the time to come over the next 5 years. So next 5 years, this will be the culture, and this is going to stay even post COVID-19. I wanted to show this video, but unfortunately, I'm not sure whether it is working or no. It is a 2-minute video, and it is worth watching. I hope it's yes. The British government left with no other option. They have Dr. Saad. Is this video visible to you?
We have never tried it in on GoToMeeting, but if you play, we can see.
Let me see. It is just 2.5 minutes.
We cannot hear the audio of it.
The word audio is not audible.
Yes, you can share the
Otherwise,
link.
this is an interesting video. You can.
Yes, you can share the link of this video. Our
What they are saying
participants will.
is, yeah, later on you can. Yes, yes. From the PPT, I will share the link. So later on you can watch.
Sure.
It is worth watching how the things will evolve actually. Now, we come to an end of the first part by this work from home culture. If there is any question, any discussion, anyone wants to talk anything on this, he is most welcome, please. He or she is most welcome. Work from home is the new era of management that we expect that it is going to be there. What about the implications of work from home for teachers? How logistics, supply and chain management business can be uh, handled remotely? These are the two questions that I have got in the chat box. Let's be, there is another opinion from Samira Adil. Let's be realistic and take into account schools, colleges, and universities. Okay, we'll talk on this. Have the organizations and institutions only switched from workplace to home, or have they really facilitated and trained the employees? Google is far bigger organization. Let's be realistic and take into account schools. Okay. Now, one thing. Let me tell you something. These are the issues. See, uh, actually, I told you before we started that we are actually following the macro environment for the management. In management, what I believe, my experience, whatever little experience I have, I always share, and I believe personally, I believe that we are continuously following nothing but the macro environment factors. Now, this is also a macro environment factor, and this is an extraordinary factor currently. And to be clear, that this situation has come to us abruptly. It didn't came over the period of time. We heard about it, started in China, and then we heard about its seriousness. And you know, some of the government, like America, they said that okay, it is not going to harm us. And some of the countries, they were cautious and they started in parts step by step. The point why I'm saying this is, you know, whatever we did till now, during the lockdown in India, if I take the example of India, The lockdown was announced and just 4 hours were given to the companies to resettle themselves. Just 4 hours. So it was impossible for anyone to do that. I mean to follow the procedures and steps to settle down the things. I mean systematically. Are you getting my point? So whatever has been done till now, that was a necessity. That was done because of the abruptness of the situation. It came all of a sudden to us, and it was a panic situation. If I take the example of our university, we moved to online never like this before, and those who were reluctant to use the online platform, trust me, they have started, some of them say, oh, we are enjoying this. Are you getting my point? So whatever has happened till now in terms of schools, colleges and university, that was a abrupt reaction, and successfully, most of the, in our case, if I take example, we have conducted the classes, exams and submitted the results also, and it is all smooth. Of course, we expect the challenges were there, and it has been done. I mean, it has been handled smoothly. Point that we need to understand, what I'm saying is, in future, from now, from reopening, because it is expected that for the next 2 years, things are not going to normalize. And in between, now we need to plan for the coming time. Trust me, this is the time where the universities, colleges, they are going to train their employees, the good one, I will call it this way, if they want to continue effectively after summer. They don't have any other option. I hope you are getting my point. Some of the questions were in this regard. So whatever has happened, I will just summarize the things. Whatever has happened, it was a situation, abrupt situation came, and all the institutions, they managed it. And I really congratulate and appreciate that most of the schools, colleges and universities, they have managed it successfully. The students have accepted it, the parents have accepted it, and we as a teachers have accepted it. I hope it's clear, inshallah. There is another question here which says, what about implications of work from home for teachers? I think some of you can give your opinion on this case before I say anything. What about implications of work from home for teachers? How things are going to be for the teachers in case of work from home? I will appreciate if any one of you can speak up, please. Maybe Dr. Saad, can you are you listening me?
Yes, I am very much present.
Okay. Now there is a one question. I would like your participation here. What about implications of work from home for teachers? What do you think? What is your experience for the last 2 months? How do you see this?
Actually, I was trying to be a very good moderator for this session, but since you have invited my comments on this issue, uh, there are a few implications which we see for the students that we have here. Uh, the first thing is
Okay.
that is a lag in terms of acceptance level. Not everyone, means including the teachers and the students, was really happy to be online and having this online session. Although we have a higher acceptance of the technology here in the university, because our students, unlike
Okay.
the other places where I have worked in, they're very apt to use these online platforms. But what happens if we take the online
Okay.
sessions, because of the cultural differences, because of the traditions here? and the gender ratio that we are having, at times we face problem because majority of the students that we have are females, so they are not very open on coming online, and then they are a bit shy in sharing their thoughts. So somewhere I feel that the psychological and the type of connect that a teacher is able to establish in the actual classroom sessions, that is missing. But
Okay.
working from home has has its challenges, plus it has its advantages also, because as you were saying that even the elderly people, they were happy to join these online sessions, and now they are enjoying it. Initially they were reluctant. The same thing has happened with the students also. I will take the example of Moodle that we were using. Initially the students were reluctant, and
Yeah.
now they're submitting their assignments, their quizzes through Moodle. So somewhere the acceptance level of technology has
Exactly.
increased. Okay, so among students
True.
also, and
True.
I hope times to come this will improve. But somewhere still that
True.
psychological connect that a teacher was able to establish in the classroom session, it is missing for me at least.
See, this is something very important that you have said here. The accept. See, any change, it takes time to be accepted. This is a normal phenomena. Globally, it is normal phenomena. But the point, what I want to actually highlight on, there is Latifa Ben Arfa Rabai, implications of work from home for the teachers. Now, let's analyze it one by one. The first thing that it is giving to us is a flexibility. Great flexibility is there in our work now. Great flexibility. Number one. Number two is, if I say, we can be, on the one hand, we are less physically, I
Doctor,
mean, personally connected to the students, but yes, please.
what do you mean by
We
flexibility?
Flexibility, what I mean here is, the timing of the class can be scheduled as much as you want. Number one, even if we have the schedules, flexibility for the teachers and the student is there. It can be rescheduled, it can be settled down as much as you can. Trust me. And we did this here in our case.
Considering
Number
our
one. Number two is
considering our
that
experience,
what I believe, no, there will, sorry.
considering our experience in these weeks, there is no flexibility because we are connected with our students every time over the day. So, what kind of flexibility?
No, actually, see,
For,
let me put
for,
it this way.
for the online courses, we plan the online courses on fixed time.
Perfect.
But
This is true.
for the process of teaching and learning, we are connected with our students over the day. This is the point, my point of view. So
So
for me,
maybe in that case, see, when I say flexibility, when I say okay, go ahead. Actually, the voice is breaking. I mean, not coming smoothly. Okay, let me put it this way. Whatever we have done till now, whatever we have done till now, that was, we presented the previous schedule that was already there. We just carried forward that and applied that online. This is one thing. Now, when we are sure that for the in future we are going to follow this online, I mean, the platform for education, my point of view is the flexibility here means that we can arrange the things as per, some of the things, like in case of presentations, in case of personal discussions, that what personally some of our students said that now on online we are more connected. Trust me, this is their feedback, because we are able to discuss it one by one. In the classroom, it was sometimes they were hesitant Are you getting my point? So the overall flexibility in terms of timing, in terms of discussion, in terms of arranging things with the students and with the management may become more easy in future, if I'm able to explain it then, hopefully. And now it depends also, there will be challenges for this. There will be challenges in this case, but we can save lots of time which we used to in terms of traveling, in terms of going here and there. That time, if we are able to plan and manage, that can be used for research activities. Then at the end of the day, we need to realize that few of us will like this situation, few of us will not like this situation. Are you getting my point? So the things will evolve over the period of time. It may take its own time to settle down. In which direction it will settle, it is time it will say. I attended one of the lecture. It says that in future it is possible that the all the universities will shift online, move online. And to our surprise, I'm missing the name of the universities. Few, not many. Some of the universities in America, they stopped the traditional teaching method for MBA programs. They said no more traditional teaching for the MBA program. All the MBA programs, they will move to online only. It already started, but now what I believe is maybe in future, maybe I'm using the word maybe, in future it will, the entire education with few exceptions where it cannot be, most part of the education may go to online, because at least for this period of 2 years, if the pandemic is there, we are going to continue online. We don't have choice. And the research says that, as we use the things, we get to know its benefits and advantages and disadvantages. Maybe over the period of time we get used to this, and it will give huge flexibility to the students, in terms of taking class. Not only time, don't stick to the time. The students, they attended the classes many times from their workplaces. In our case, in our master's program, they were in their workplaces, they attended the class. And sometimes it facilitates us also that if we are not able to we are somewhere out or somewhere places, we can conduct our classes from wherever we are. So the things will become open. This is what I wanted to say. And the teachers, they will have, I believe, more time for their researchers. I believe that they can sit in one place, they can connect globally on their net, and maybe see, there are views coming up. Like I just want to move to the second part, that is again very important. Just to conclude here, I what I'm saying is, this is the new culture during the pandemic. Now, as an academicians, as researchers, we need to identify the pros and cons of these things. Online teaching and work from home for different sectors, for education, for service sector, for manufacturing, whether it is how much it is in manufacturing industry, it is not applicable at all maybe. So how things are going to be balanced? We need to, this is the research gap that we need to identify, and we need to settle down from our findings, how things will be, inshallah. I hope I mean, you got some answers. And just be aware that we are still in the evolving stage. Things will settle down, and we are the people as researchers who will tell what is right, what is wrong, and how the thing should be shaped in future. But one thing is for sure, that online teaching is going to be there now. We can't say no to this, at least during the pandemic period. Okay, I will take chance to move, if you all allow me, to move to the next part. A very fast, quick look to this. You know, the consumers are evolving. I will give you a simple example before I go to this slide. One of my friend, he went to a electronic shop to buy a mobile. Trust me, the change is that now the entire process, there is a process for entering the supermarkets and the hypermarkets and the big shop. An entire set of process. Check your temperature, sanitize your hands, wear mask, wear gloves, and inside the shop, don't come close to each other. There are footprints inside the shops, and the worst part is, or the best part is, that when he was there to buy a mobile, he said that show me this mobile. The salesman clearly said, sir, we can't give you, allow you to touch this because of the COVID. And then he realized, okay, we are in pandemic era and we can't, and he accepted that. It was perfectly fine. There was no reaction for that. You see what I mean? Otherwise, before pandemic, the things, it was not accepted. It was not accepted. If you say someone that I will not show you the mobile, he will never buy that. So how the consumer behavior is going to be shaped in future? It will change for sure. So in that perspective, I just want to go fast on these aspects. Cor Coronavirus, again safety, social distancing. Now it has given us the option that is contactless society and contactless market. Contactless society and the contactless market. Now, what are the new trends? Very fast recap. Limited number of customers are allowed. Temperature testing before they enter the market. Wearables, wearables to enter the market, face mask and hand gloves, sanitize before entering the market. Most of the products are ready to take. Now this is another new culture there in the supermarkets especially. Whether it is fresh vegetable or anything, they have been packed, they have been priced. The customers just need to pick them up and move out. Just walkout technology will be a boom in near future. Just walk out technology, because this is needed. Minimum contact between the people. So buy, bill it, pay it, and move out of the store. No need to contact anyone. New trends in the restaurants: online order, takeaway, home deliveries, deliveries through drones. This will again be maybe a culture. I'm not saying will be, but this may be. The companies have started, and there can be deliveries even in the takeaways by the robots. What I mean by the robots here is that they are not going to pack it maybe, but instead of humans, they will be in the window shop to just hand over the packets to the customers. It may come up in future, because you know one point, even the home delivery products in India, it happened that one of the delivery boy, he had coronavirus and he delivered the food, and after that around it is spread to the family and to 100, more than 100 people. So maybe the technology is taking lead, and it will take lead in these situations as well. New public behavior, see, they are standing all in distances now, 2 meters distance, not close to each other. So this will be there for the pandemic period. Time will tell, maybe this will become a culture, because we are used to, we learn the behavior and then follow it. There is boom in e-commerce. This is actually the slide where I wanted to come now. If we take the example of Saudi Arabia, food sales surge amid COVID-19 pandemic. Interestingly, top grocery products for online purchases were dairy products, fruits and vegetables, and breads. Now there was a question in the beginning. I don't remember the name, but see how the things are changing. Why there is a boom in e-commerce or online shopping after the pandemic? Why is this? Because of the safety measures, because of the concerns, because of the contagious nature of the virus. So instead of going to the shops, most of the people, they have shifted their purchasing to their purchasing to online. Worth mentioning here is the dairy products, fruits and vegetables, bread, they are supplying this. Now what I feel, I have seen this. Now this situation in future will give a new culture of, small delivery shops, where and that will be very local. Trust me, they may be very local, that you give them your orders, they will deliver it to you, to your home, and it will be very localized. You don't need to give it to the I mean directly to the shops. You will have just the online shops, very local, very small, like the grocery shops we have now. There will be online grocery shops, and they will just take your order, buy the things, and deliver it to you. This may be the new culture in future, and I am sure it will come very soon. It is already there. Some of even my students, they are working in such shops, and they told me. So it will come up. Bin Dawood and other supermarket, they are saying, see, average sales have increased by 200% since COVID-19. Order values grew by 50%. People, this is the consumer behavior, they are purchasing in bulk, because they, to avoid the hassles, to avoid the problems of ordering and going to the supermarkets. Maybe they are the orders values have grown up. Instead of 100 reals, now they are buying it for 150 reals, for example, just to say. App installations increased 400%. UAE Carrefour saw 59% increase in new online customers during COVID-19. So the entire thing, let it be education, let it be work, let it be shopping, what I believe is they are moving online now. There is no choice left. And what is interesting in this, why these figures are important, why they are actually important now? They are important that because, it says somewhere here, see in this slide, it says that 69% of KSA consumers say that they will maintain current shopping habits post COVID-19. So it is not matter of only during the COVID, as I am saying, because when we are forced, we experience, we analyze the cost and benefit, and then we form the habit, we learn it. So maybe after this practice of buying shopping online for the next 2 years, coming 2 years, let's say, the consumers, and they are agreeing now only, that 69% of KSA consumers to maintain current shopping habits even post COVID-19. Now, there is a change here, something that we need to, how the things will be during this COVID period. It says that the consumers presently, they are spending 71% claim they are spending more on essential products, including groceries and food, healthcare and wellness items, than they did before. This is very important to know here, to notice that maybe, some of the luxury items, big brands in clothes, in apparels, and other luxury items, there may be a shift in the buying behavior of the customers. There may be shift in the buying behavior of the customers. the purchase will be more towards the necessities over the period of time. And if you remember, in the analysis part, in the first part, where we assess the current situation, because of the job losses, because of the crash in the market, and many other economic factors, the buying power of the customers will has gone down, and they will by force they have to focus on the basics now. And after that, what I believe sometime that the whole lot of if you remember the Maslow's theory of motivation, we have gone back to basics. However, the basics currently is not like the basics in the old time, but now we are moving again towards the basics because of our current situation, because of the lack of income, because of the job losses, and other such factors, because sometimes psychological factors, and also the situation. I was looking at my cupboard, the whole lot of suits, they are useless for me now, and I don't know when I'm going to use it. So there is no point of buying more dresses, I mean to say. So by situation, by macro and micro factors, we are forced to focus on the basics, and these basics will continue for the next 2 years. Okay, let me see how there are some questions here. It says some points are there. How shall we continue with maintaining work, especially inside the homes? Now see, I can only give the opinions. There is no research right now on this. I can just, even I will request you to give some of your opinions on this issue. These strategies are going to compromise on the quality, especially in health and food sectors. This point that you are mentioning, Mr. Dr. Kashif Ali Sabiri, there is now, see, the consumers, they have very specific nature. The consumers, they have very specific nature. Like what, there is always a priority. There is an article in Harvard Business Review. It says that, that the focus of the customers right now is safety and security. And it says that the customers will pay more for safety in comparison, and they will be ready to compromise on the quality. It says that. But when you say in case of health and food sector, I'm not sure about this. I can't say about this. These strategies are going to compromise on the quality, especially in health and food sectors. It depends. We can't say it actually that it will compromise. It is not always possible. It is again a situational thing. It may happen if the demand is of course more and the supply is less. It will affect for sure. Is there any planning to save the time, as the mankind will lose a lot of time if social distancing continues? This is again very personal, What I believe is those who are smart enough, they will utilize this time for honing their skills. This is a blessing in disguise also, that you have a time and you can sit and identify the areas and develop yourself in those areas, because such time may not come again. So you have ample time. Now, if you sit and get frustrated, then there is no point of that. You see what I mean? So it is now your individual planning, that how we utilize the current time and how we are going to develop ourselves and get ready for the post-COVID era. The point is not that we have to live our life in COVID period, and we have to get ourselves ready for the post-COVID era. And the best way is to develop ourselves. No, in this case, things will change. No one is going, no, I mean shopping when we have to wait for hours outside a shopping payment counter. This will not be there. Actually, the new management will be there. Most of the big shopping malls, trust me, they will even, trust me, what will happen, pre-booking will come, because at one particular point of time, limited number of customers will be allowed inside the shopping mall, you know. So you will have to book, trust me, it is going to come. You will have to book your time slot that you are going to visit the shopping mall from such and such time. Otherwise, the managing social distancing is not possible. About the shopping, about the counters, I already mentioned, it will be again a contactless shopping, that the devices are already there. Now they will take a boost. I'm sure very soon they will come in the market, that you need to scan your products, you pay on from your card, and just leave the counter, go. No one is going to interfere you. So even in the shopping, in restaurants and every, 45% of the world population have no idea how to use a cell phone. You know, in India, if I take the example of, forget about India, I will give you another very current example. My own professor, he never used online platform for anything. Recently, he conducted a global panel discussion online, and he is very happy. So what is the point is that, and also, to be honest, not all the people, they visit the shopping malls and hypermarkets and supermarkets, and we have for them, they will always manage their affairs with the local grocery shops and other shops, for sure. This is a good point, but number will increase. That the people using all these mediums will increase, and the
Looks like we have lost Professor Zaid.
was side. Now,
There were some interruptions. Actually, this is a common problem with GoToMeeting, I believe. We don't find these type of lags when we are conducting sessions on Google Meet or Zoom, but this type of lag is there in GoToMeeting, I feel. What is your opinion?
not honestly speaking, I took classes for 2 months on Zoom. I never found any problem there. And last 10 days, we had around 8 panel discussions globally on Zoom again, and there was absolutely no problem, no lagging, nothing. It was as smooth as anything. On this
I
platform, I feel that there is a
participated in some
lag
of
time,
the panels and there was no lag. Means it was running flawlessly. Here there is a lag
Exactly,
printing your slides. Anyway, we'll take up
exactly.
this. Okay, so Let's invite some more questions. There are few food of thoughts coming. I wanted to raise it in between your presentation. Recently,
Please go
very
ahead.
interesting in Oman.
Mm-hmm.
It is pertaining to the logistic and supply chain people. Uh, Oman actually declared not exactly a lockdown. There were restrictions imposed, and the travel between the districts was restricted. But still, the cases recently it started increasing, especially in my city. The case increased. There is a nearby city called Sohar where the cases started
Mm-hmm.
increasing. And when they really tried to find out that what was the reasons, they found that these cases were mainly increased because of the truck drivers who were carrying the necessity products. They were allowed traveling. And as for the new guidelines of the government now, these truck drivers are not allowed to leave their cabins at the point of their destinations.
Yes.
So it is
Mm. Okay.
with a new threat with this home delivery of food, home delivery of other necessity item. It is again coming up with newer threats. Although when I look into the advertisements of KFC Middle East or McDonald Middle East, you find that they are properly sanitizing everyone. But the problem is that most the corona is such a disease that it is asymptomatic. It doesn't the person who is
Exactly.
having corona, he doesn't show any
True.
sort of symptoms. That becomes a new challenge for all the kinds of people.
Actually,
So
that is the challenge. Actually, that is the challenge, big challenge. That is the big challenge.
you are staying at your home thinking that you are in safe haven, but you are ordering things online and somebody comes who is infected and infects the entire house and he goes back. The same thing is happening in our city as well. So let's see
So these
what
are
other.
the issues. Yes, exactly.
So it is indeed a big challenge for people like us who used to love to work from office. We are finding it difficult to work from home, although we try to occupy ourselves with the activities, whatever we can do at home, but we are finding it difficult. I believe that one of my friends, Mr. Irmal Bino, who is also online right now, he'll relate with me. So let's see, let's invite some more questions and queries if all of you have. Otherwise, already time to bid goodbye to the professor and put an end to this session. If there is any questions or queries, please do ask. So we have something coming from Jasit. Uh, uh, the query raised here is that what is the advice for the best assessment strategy and what
Actually,
activities
for
you
the next time, if we have something, in our case, this is again something very, we need to, this is the time when we will have to evaluate different options here, For example, for the entire education platform, in our case, in our university, we have a software called as Blackboard. I don't know if you are aware about that. This Blackboard is a perfect platform where you can take your classes as well as you can assess the students in any form means any form, whether you want to assess them in terms of objective questions, whether you want to assess them in essay questions, or you want to assess them in practical questions. Everything is possible there. What I'm saying is that we need to evaluate more and more options, especially during these 2 3 months, that how to make the overall teaching more effective for the students. If this was your question, so we
and
need to
means how
go.
you means I'm very I really I want to know out of my what do you call we have Moodle, have implemented Moodles, and we have purchased the licensed version of it, and the whole university has been trained, be it students, be it faculty members. On paper, everybody has been trained, but practically now we have started using it. So,
True,
where do you
true.
find which one is better? Moodle is better, or the Blackboard is better?
I have not used Moodle, in that case, so I can't comment on that. But despite the fact, whatever technology you are using, the point is ki how what would be the medium of assessment for the students. Whether we are going to go for the I'm sorry, we are going for objective questions, we are going for, it depends on the objective of the study as well, you know, and whether we are going to give them critical questions, whether we are going to assess them through essay type questions. So it depends actually what the course is and what is the prescribed objective. According to the objective, the technology can be anything. Even through emails, you can send them question papers and get their feedback, you know. This is what I believe. The important question is, how are we going to follow the same assessment methods as we used to do before COVID or no? So in that case, what I'm foreseeing is the more assessments will move from question answers to projects, you know,
Yes.
group projects, assignments, case studies. It will be the more used for the assessment of the students in future. This is how I am looking at. So medium can be anything. It can be
Dr. Shah,
Blackboard, it can be Zoom, it can be anything. Yes, please.
Dr. Shah,
Uh,
Dr. Shah.
yes, Dr. Usman, please.
I have a question to Professor Zaid. First, I
Yes.
thank him.
Yes.
As he said, there
My
is
pleasure.
a big change in attitude, people attitude, public attitude, marketing attitude, economic attitude. Do you think this led the policymakers for a big change in laws and legal provision, legal rules concerning commercial and economic theories?
You know, actually, there will be. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you very well, but whatever part I got from your voice, in that perspective, you know, now to implement every aspect in the consumers, trust me, there will be a new guideline from the policymakers. There will be, at times, there will be a harsh rules to implement that, you know. Like if anyone is not maintaining the social distancing in public place, trust me, he may be fined at times. You see what I mean? So it is going to implement, it is going to give birth to new policies, new guidelines, and sometimes new rules, which will be penalized if not followed by the customers or the individuals. It will be. So
Actually,
we
there are
foresee, this is what
laws
I'm,
coming up.
and it is
Uh,
already there. If I just want to mention, you know, if you break the lockdown norms here, you are fined. So it
we
is
see
already
the
there.
demand increase online demand online increase than before COVID effect. So this
Exactly.
made the consumers buy their things without without accept directly, but the buyer send it to their home. This may get the consumers have many problems if they find a hidden defect. I think this needs new rules.
You know, actually, just to answer to your point, you know, uh, the rules are already there for these things. Now, it needs a detailed discussion, but I will try to give you a brief. Now, instead, like you know, the companies, the product companies, the online sellers, they also have to maintain their credibility. There will be a surge in new online sellers. Amazon is there. In Saudi Arabia, we have soup.com. Apart from these bigs, you know, if I find any problem with soup.com, I will immediately move to some other. Are you getting my point? So these online sellers, shops, companies, They need to maintain their credibility and they have to gain the customer confidence. Your point is valid, but it has to be addressed and it will be addressed. It is not like that they don't see they will get defective products. There are return time, return period, everything is there, refund is there. So inshallah, it will not be a big issue, I'm sure.
No, thank you, Prof.
There are
Zaid. Thank you.
reports. There are reports coming from the developing economies, and most of the researchers and authors, they are saying that if the lockdowns are continued like this, then there are chances that the people will start going for food rights. And this is quite obvious going for the countries like India, Pakistan, then the African countries, and even the same thing may happen in some other Asian nations as well. So, because most of the researchers, like we academicians are saying that the demands have gone down, but the researchers are saying that demand has not gone down; they have been actually suppressed. People are not buying things because they are scared, but someday when they are out of their stock, when the things are not available in the market, then there are chances that they will go for food rights. And therefore most of the agencies, they are actually recommending the government that why don't you open the sectors. And that is somewhere these green zones, orange zones and red zone concept has come up, that wherever the people
Exactly.
are, wherever the things are not affected, why not you open it? But because of some places, because of the mismanagement at some of the places, at the government level as well as the individual level, there is a shift that the green zones are converting quickly into orange zones, and the orange zones are getting converted into red zones. And again, those places are under lockdown now. So there is a bigger challenge coming up, and the way
It
we
will
are
be there.
managing.
It will be there. It will be there. It will be there. I just wanted to. There will be a huge surge in the technological development. The roles of the robots will increase, and many new things will come. We don't have that much time to take them all in detail, but trust me, the whole lot of things we can expect now. You know. In the hospitals, there will be robots who will be attending the patients. The delivery will be done by drones, and the offices will be having the smart helmets, and many new technologies will come to manage this situation for sure.
Let's hope for the best, and hopefully we'll continue the similar kind of
Inshallah.
discussion. Now, in the interest
For
of
sure.
time,
My pleasure. Anytime.
if there are any questions coming up from the participants, we can have a last question. Otherwise, we'll call it a day and we'll put an end to this session today. Any questions coming from the audiences?
No, actually, I think
We are receiving a lot of thank yous now, so it means that
yeah,
okay.
yes, we are done. Alhamdulillah. I really thank you all. Thank you very much. And I really enjoyed. I hope that we had a good session. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much.
So
Thank
formally,
you,
thank you
Dr.
so.
Saad, for calling me. Thank you, all the attendees.
It
Good
was
luck.
a
Thank you very much.
pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. And with this, we formally have come to an not only to this session, but an end to this webinar 1.0. So thank you all the participants for your patient listening
Thank
and participating and raising your questions. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Zaid, for coming here and accepting our.
thank you. Thank you.
It was a pleasure listening
Thank
to
you
you.
very
Thank
much,
you so
Dr.
much.
Saad.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.